Good evening, everyone. So, in recent news, it was reported that entertainer Vybz Kartel has been facing 23-hour lockdowns daily for like the past month. So today we're on the road just asking persons questions to see if this was a justified action, to see if this was an humane approach, was it inhumane? So let's get some answers.
And Rabbi J.A. test them, dig up the truth with the problem, never gonna stop till we solve them, And Rabbi J.A. the real media. And Rabbi J.A. test them, dig up the truth with the problem, never gonna stop till we solve them, And Rabbi J.A. the real media. And Rabbi J.A.
It's alleged that Vybz Kartel has been in a 23-hour daily lockdown since last month. So do you think this is inhumane given the report on his present health condition?
Yeah, man, it's inhumane regardless of his present health condition. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, definitely I think it's inhumane as well, isn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely, I do think it's inhumane. I think it's cruel. He wasn't given the death penalty. He's in prison for a while now. I think they should have prioritized his health over everything. What I heard is that they had him on the lockdown because of some phone or whatever. But even so being, I heard he's been struggling with an illness for years now, undisclosed. So I think they should have prioritized his health and put him in the hospital than just keep him in a lockdown. I think do the lockdown after he's healed up. And
in my opinion, all humans have rights. When you're locked up, whether you're locked up or you're free, you have rights. He's locked up, but he has the right to see a doctor and get medical treatment as well. You don't want him. He's serving his time. It's best that he serve his time, get out of prison, so that he could live his life as well. Just because he did something bad and he's paying for it in prison doesn't mean that he should be treated inhumanely. That's what I feel.
I mean, I personally think it is inhumane because, I mean, come on, we're talking about health here. So, like, the least they could do is to, like, I don't know, maybe take it into consideration, being that, you know, he has some health conditions. So, yes, I personally think it is inhumane.
Yes, I believe it is inhumane because he's been in there for a while and they're not giving him the medical attention that he needs, and it is unfair and he needs justice.
From what I know, when you are incarcerated for murder, you shouldn't have access to cell phones. So if it is that you are caught with cell phones, then I'm expecting that the authorities would put some extra measures in place. So therefore, something like a 23-hour lockdown, I don't think it's out of place because you're already locked down naturally. So the other additional 23 hours would be because you're using cell phones, which you shouldn't have when you're in prison, right?
Inhumane, I would say yes. It can be dealt with better. He's a human, he should be treated as such. Regarding their health, like if your health deteriorates and them still having a certain living conditions and are suitable for your health, I would believe that's inhumane.
Generally speaking, I think any human beings that get locked up in prison, sometimes no one knows the truth. So to lock down somebody or any individual for 23 hours, I think is inhumane. Because sometimes if the evidence is not presented, like I don't know Vybz Kartel's situation, but I'm making a general statement. I think it's inhumane to do that because there are a lot, my defense for that would be there are a lot of innocent people that are incarcerated also. And they might suffer the same effect.
What do you think the authorities should do given the situation?
Well, they should actually find better ways of policing their, what do you call it?
Convicts.
Police your convicts them better rather than trying to torture them because you're not doing your job properly. You see what I say?
Yeah, it don't make no sense to fuck say him have contraband in the first place for them put him in the solitary to begin with. So for them fault that.
Yeah, man. Doing the work. That's enough to do.
Them job.
Okay, so you're saying the phones shouldn't have been in the prisons in the first.
Begin with it. You know, see our prison lockdown well. All that reaching out the prison for start with. I feel them fault that man and the man punish them and call them nonsense.
I think they should take him out of that lockdown because I also heard that it's like they keep him in like a dark area for 23 hours straight, only 1 hour a day to socialize. I think that's absolutely stupid. It's not only stupid for his physical being, it's also stupid for his mental health. That's what's deteriorating right now, mostly his mental health, because his body can heal, but it's the mind. So I think they should get him out of there as soon as possible and get him into fit condition before he can continue serving his sentence.
Alright, so I strongly believe that they should at least ensure that he's getting medical treatment, based on the fact that he has a health condition.
He's sick, so basically just get him a doctor. Get him a doctor. Prisoners have, I believe that some prisoners should have like a medical expert on hand in case anything can happen in prison. Diseases, fights, anything like that can happen. So I have a medical expert on hand so that in the case of emergencies or anything that they could save the prisoners as well.
Well, as long as he goes through the period of time that they said that he should have been there, then he can return to the general population.
It would be best if they could actually let him get the medical attention he needs before they can actually put him back in confinement.
All right, thanks.
Improve better policing and better watering, who are more trained and probably are more educated in dealing with, who are more equipped, I should say, to deal with situations like those. Because from my understanding, I hear that people get beat down and some inhumane things that are taking place, like in the Jamaica prison system, that I probably think might be unfair. Unfair mainly for the people who are innocent, because I'm quite certain the legal system is not God as powerful as it might be, and a lot of times mistakes are made. And I'm not taking up for or being against Vybz Kartel. I'm just making a general statement in that respect.
What are some approaches that you think the government can utilize to bring about reform for incarcerated individuals?
Well, we need to think more about how we can reintegrate people.
More vocational programs like HEART, introduce HEART inside of the prison system. Try to see if they can educate some people so when them come back out, them can, have something, be a productive member of society.
Yeah, man, and like, I don't know if them have games in there. Give them a PS5, some Nintendo, so them can play the latest video games. I think that'll really help. So I'm not make so much music if I play the latest. You see me? If I play the latest game, then I'm supposed to good.
Sanitation come here, so them toilet they right beside where them sleep. I'm gonna think that right. So them need to have every prison cell need to have its own personal local bathroom or lock off from where them sleep. Better bed, better pest control. Come here, so a beer rush them have a prison. And rat, and they sleep on look metal, something them and rat a bite you up. So all of them because something they need to get fixed up. I mean that's it, we have no more solution.
Increase the amount of programs in the prison. For example now, when they're in prison, they could do manual labor, because they're not really doing anything in prison. So for example, this now, they could do labor like creating hangars or do welding, carpentry, those type of work for free. At the same time, not only does it produces labor, it also provides them with a skill that they can learn. That way that when they finish their time, they can go out in the working world and actually find something and not go back into the criminal system. They could also provide more educational opportunities, as well as increase maybe better treatment and basically bringing the church to preach them and basically get them away from the criminal life onto the right path.
In terms of prison reform, I do believe they should try and have more programs for these guys that are already locked up. Try and actually rehabilitate them, not just keep them sitting around all day. Actually try and give some of these guys an education that is possible in prison. It's possible all over the world. People do get full degrees in prison, so have some educational programs in there. Maybe have some skills in there. Some actual training, so that when these guys do eventually get out, they're not just on the streets. They actually have something to do. Give these guys a skill, some plumbing, electrician. Something. These guys, like I said before, they're still people even though they're locked up. So, makes sense that you try and actually reform them, remold them, mold them into better people while they're in there. Don't just lock them up and then fling them back out the same way they came in.
More resources for the prisoners in the jails by medical attention, assistance and help from other people who like to volunteer and help out. Resources if they want to pick up back an education, they can get that help from the jail. And a program should be built for when they exit the jail, that they have a stable life and stability and can get a job and afford to live back a stable life. Second chance.
So educational programs can be put in place to actually help them reform positive members of societies. Like learn a skill. Like you leave prison, you want to be able to can still look forward to having a future and a family. Like if you leave prison right now, you know you're on a record where people don't even want to get a work or nothing. So yeah, skill or education and them something that promote better.
Do you think the church plays a role in the reform of these individuals?
Church. I mean, I think the church probably could play a bigger role. I don't know exactly how much the church does in terms of actually going to prison, speaking to these people. I've actually never sat down and looked it up, so I can't speak fully. But I do think maybe, the church could aid in getting some, some reform in there. Even if it's just funding, do some fundraisers for people that who are in prison. I'm sure people who go to church are related to some of these people who are in prison. So maybe put on some fundraisers. Have a visitation day, try and get these guys, in a better mood. Try. So yeah, the church could try. I think the church could aid a little more.
When an individual seeks God, he basically seeks saving and redemption, and to basically to start anew. A person would not look at the criminal life and look at God at the same time. So they look to God to start anew, to start fresh, to seek redemption. So I'd say that the church can get involved. They could go to prison, preach, tell them, give them encouragement basically. Tell them the word of God.
Yes, I believe the churches can play a role with these individuals in the prisons by helping out. Churches have a bigger voice and they can protest and talk to the government, even make deals and make a better life for the prisoners inside and when they come out.
I think the church should play a role. Not that the church is playing the role that they should play, in my opinion. Because the fact that a lot of times the focus to me in most churches is to just be making money and business. If they were like dealing with the principles of Christianity, it probably would take more effect in areas like this. That's all I can say on that.
My social media handle is Vector Papi. That's VECTOR Papi. I'm a graffiti artist, so check out my artwork online. Yes, that's on Instagram and on Twitter, but all my artwork is on Instagram, so check me out at Vector Papi. Check me out. I'm actually in a Fontana graffiti competition right now that's taking place right down the street. That's why I have paint all over me. So vote for me in the Fontana graffiti competition when it comes out. I've done the one in the middle. Yes, I've done the one in the middle. Yeah, I've done a couple other around the island, but I worked on the one in the middle. Yes.
Okay, nice, cool. Thank you, Courtney.
My social media is at @thedonherself_. Follow and like on my post, guys. Thank you. Instagram? Yes, ma'am.
My Instagram too. No. Hi, my name is Kayla. So to my Instagram, Abby_PT16, and show to my TikTok, Abby_16. Thank you.
Okay, guys, follow me on TikTok at DJDAE.DRI. Vybz Kartel.